Welcome, beautiful ones, to Ask the Oracle. Today we open the temple doors and step into a field of remembrance with the radiant Priestess Lilly. Together we'll explore the sacred feminine, intuition, embodiment, and the powerful awakening moving through Lilly's temple of she. Take a breath, soften your body, and allow yourself to be held in this sacred conversation. Let's enter the temple. Hi, sister. How are you, my love?
I am great. Thank you for having me, Suzy. I'm quite excited about this.
I'm so excited. I just have to say, I absolutely adore the name Temple of She. It's just so powerful and so beautiful. So congratulations, my love. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in the making for quite some time, and I've actually been scared of her. But, I think right now more than ever, she's ready to be birthed, and she's very much being birthed through me.
Goosebumps. Okay, so let's dive into these juicy questions. And the first kind of energy that I want to tap into is the opening the temple. So, for those meeting you for the first time, how would you describe the essence of the Temple of She?
I think it's like it's not a course, it's not a program, it's not a tick box thing. I honestly believe it is a living transmission that you'll be able to go back to again and again and again. And it is a place where woman um, can be dissolved. So the woman can be reborn again, and actually allow her to rise. I think it's a remembrance where our intuition meets leadership, meets our voice, meets our truth, meets our longing, the feminine, and we're really being asked to call back our power from all places and spaces, not only just in this lifetime. And she is the part of you that I think it's a part of all of us, but she's the part of you that was never meant to be small. That was
Yes,
never meant
yeah,
to be silent. That was never meant to be lost. And
yes.
I think that for so many women right now, we're getting sick of waiting. And so that's where the temple meets you. Let's open. Let's let her emerge. Let her come forward. It's an initiation, totally initiation.
Beautiful. Love that so much. And I noticed the topics of your beautiful Temple of She were just, I've been doing this for a very long time and I am very dedicated to my spiritual path. But in saying that, when I read the initiations, the topics, the titles, it was like, wow, like it kind of really inspired me. It kind of awoken something in me. So I just thought I'd mention that too, that it's so worth doing this work. And it's so beautiful. Love it so much. So, my love, I know that you and I have, done quite a few podcasts together, and we've been on the most magnificent journey together. Love and adore you. And I probably asked you this before, but I do think it's quite relevant to our topic today. So, what first called you to the Priestess Path? What was that first initial calling?
Oh, I love and adore you too, Susie. Right back at you. I don't think it was a pathway that I thought I was choosing. I feel like the Priestess Path chose me. And it
Yes.
first began as like a whisper, a voice within, an unraveling, a fire that I could no longer ignore. Um, and, it was subtle at first, and then it became louder, if I'm really honest, it is probably, I've called myself Priestess Lilly for probably the last 6 or 7 years, but it's only now that I feel like I've embodied the priestess. It's only now that I feel like I'm showing up in it. And I wasn't meant to, when for me, my priestess journey has probably been very different to other people, but it very much was a sacred calling that I could no longer ignore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Love that. So good. I love that it chose you. You didn't choose the path. That to me speaks volumes. Love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yay.
It's something that when you have, for me, probably I've had multiple, I don't think you ever awaken at once. I've had multiple moments where I've awakened to some type of truth within me.
Yeah.
And I feel, for me, I have never ever felt like I fitted into the status
Yes.
quo.
I can really relate to that.
And, I didn't want to change. I didn't want to and I always felt like I was trying to fit in and nothing gelled, just nothing fit, but nothing worked. It wasn't until I did a priestess initiation with Julie Parker and Sora that I actually were like, oh my God, there's more women like me. There's more women
Yes.
that think like me. So then that was a subtle thing that started to give me permission. And then through that, that kind of sparked something, a deeper knowing within me, a remembrance, a integration, an initiation that then I just, I love who I am. There was a
Yeah, I
time
love
that I
that.
didn't love who I am, but I
Yeah,
actually love who I am now.
I love that.
Hmm.
How's it enriched your life?
Yeah. And I remembered it was like, um, you know, we label ourselves consistently, but we're actually all of it. We are the intuitive, we're the light worker, we're the healer, we're the mother, we're the caregiver, we're
Exactly.
all of those roles, and we
We're
just
so
transition through
multifaceted.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
layer upon layer. Yeah.
yeah, but we've been told that we live in a society that you're being told you can just be one thing. Well, I don't think that's true. Well, that truth
No,
doesn't resonate for me.
no, absolutely.
Mm.
So this question came to me just a moment ago. How has it enriched your life?
My life is a living prayer.
There you go.
I don't my life is a living prayer, and I was just writing about this before. Um, some people feel like they're just coexisting in their life.
Yeah,
My life is intentional.
love it.
There's moments that obviously I get swept up in fear and stress and all the other things that we
Of
do
course, we're only human.
because
Yeah,
that's the human shitty experience.
yeah,
But my altar, I've been really thinking about this. I've been really
yes.
thinking about this. The temple is she, I'm the temple is she. The temple is
Oh,
she.
yes.
I've
Yeah.
really been thinking about
Oh
this
my God.
in order to, I have to embody it first. I am the living altar, and the altar exists through my creation, through what I want to see in the world versus what I'm being conditioned to see, consuming, everything. And
Exactly.
so since that has like done a bit of a shift for me, in my thinking, it's like my body is a temple. It's how
That's
my
right.
intuition, I'm an oracle. It's how my intuition speaks to me. She is a living being inside me that needs to be acknowledged and celebrated and cherished. And she's got shadow and she's got depth and she's got anger and she's all of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
she's all of it.
mm,
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
mm.
There a moment in your own journey when you knew this work really needed to exist?
Um, yeah, there was. There was.
Yeah,
For me, it was, and it started as a group called Divine Awakening, a collective group that I created in 2020, 2023. And when I
beautiful.
really could feel that humanity um, was moving in a direction that I didn't like. And,
Yes.
I could see that in our nervous systems cracking open. And women everywhere around me, we're experiencing the same, the collapsing of our roles, identities,
Yes.
illusions, safety. And I keep hearing spirit during that time, create a temple where women can be reborn outside of the system, reborn
Wow.
into who they want to
That's
be.
powerful. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, you know, I'd already written the Temple of She book, but I was too scared to own it because I wasn't sure if the consciousness was ready for it. I'd already
Yeah.
done my oracle
Interesting.
deck,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was like if I'd spoken those truths then, not
Yes.
everyone was ready to receive them. I honestly believe, and I didn't want to come from a place of performance, or I wanted to come from a place of truth. It's probably taken me since 2023 to now, 3 years on, to actually embody the work, where
Yes.
I now feel the Temple of She is fully formed in what my soul is ready to remember and fully
Yes.
return to. But I don't
Yes.
think it's just me. I think it's woman, woman, it's like what you and I say. One of us has to rise first in order for others to follow. You know,
Exactly.
my initiation happened back there. I think many women now are being sparked in the initiation.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Exactly.
So
I
I've been,
love
I've
that.
been in
Yeah.
fear. I've been in
Yeah.
fear. It's a lot. I've been in fear because um, can I hold? Can I hold the space that she deserves? Can I hold that expansiveness? Can I
Yes.
and so I've had to evolve. I've
The
had to
answer
let
is
go of
yes. Yes. Yes, you
some
can.
ideas and beliefs and some shittiness.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I
You
love
know what
to,
it's like.
like,
You know
yeah.
what it's like.
I do. You know, that like ever evolving journey of when you co-create a beautiful soulful offering. And it's really interesting how you refine it and you deepen the work as, as we refine, as we deepen our
Mm.
own personal journey. And I love that you didn't rush it. I loved that you allowed the unfurling and the deepening to happen and the refinement to happen. And
Mm.
it's really interesting because I believe everything's, perfect as it is in that moment. But, as we progress, as we evolve, as we ascend, so does our work. And we're not talking any kind of crazy hierarchical guru
No.
complex. We're talking about a really true deepening, a really true refinement of the work. And I can honestly say, as your friend and your sister, that I've, witnessed that deepening, and it's magnificent. So, just, yeah, love it, love it, love it.
And you know what? Susie, all last year you worked with me about owning my voice. Owning my voice through sound and my sound bowls and
Yes,
and if I hadn't, and that's a whole component of Temple of She, our voice. Our voice is a frequency and an activation.
there
And
you
every
go.
time we speak, we're
Yeah,
casting a spell. Um,
yeah, exactly.
and if I hadn't have done that piece of work, I wouldn't be sitting here now. And so that work has been led by you holding space for me and me being able to transform into that space that I feel comfortable now to speak this. Yeah. So, thank you to you.
Oh, yeah, you were doing wonderful work before I met you, but it's just such an honour and a pleasure to hold space for you.
Hmm.
And to be honest, it's a very equal, reciprocal connection and friendship as well that's developed over, years now, which is, how lucky am I? Um, but let's get back to you, my darling. So let's get back to you. I know that we talked about this, but what does she represent to you? And she, as in capital letter she.
I have been thinking about this, and she is the divine feminine embodied. She
Yes,
is living in truth unapologetically. She is in stillness when everything is collapsing around her. And I know that that is so true for so many women right now.
Exactly.
and the collective consciousness. She holds her power without force. She is love without losing herself in love. She is a priestess, she is a mother, she is the witch, she is the light seer, she is the healer, she is the woman that you are becoming, and you've stopped abandoning yourself. And I think we live in a society where we're consistently told that we can't be everything, or we've got to make ourselves small or shrink ourselves, or we've got to give away a part of our power, or we
Yeah.
can't speak our truth. I want to say bullshit to all of that. You can be your embodied version
Yeah.
of your feminine, your intuition, your truth.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 So beautiful. Like when you say, the abandoning of self, it's the opposite of the abandoning of self,
It's
to me,
enrichment.
that's just such a powerful portal because
Mm.
I feel like, cookie cutter living, autopilot, Groundhog Day,
Mm.
um, conforming to some kind of crazy generic archetype is, is just so freaking boring. It's just like it's not even really living; it's existing. And I just love the way you explained that because that was just so powerful, really cool. Loved it. So
And and I think the thing is with women, we are told to be we're oversensitive. We've been told that we cry too much. We're don't be
yeah,
angry, be the good girl.
that's exactly
All of
it.
those things that we're groomed into ever since a little girl, basically.
Yes,
Well, I want to say, in order to honor your sacred feminine, your embodiment, your temple is you, you actually have to walk with that because that actually makes you you. And that is sometimes
exactly.
in our descent, when we're in the most darkest times. Like,
Yeah,
I know I've had plenty of them.
yeah,
Um,
same here.
the reality is when we're met with that dark goddess or that dark or in the eye of the descent, the reality is it's also when we're not broken, we're actually being cracked open. And I want to say that those that are listening that go, oh yeah, this sounds a bit like that too fluffy for me. I've got
It's a
anger
bit
issues,
woo
I've got
woo, or it's a
trauma.
bit spiritual, or it's a bit,
Yeah,
high
I want to say,
vibrational. Like, what does that actually even mean to me in the
yeah,
everyday? Yeah,
I want to say no. It's also a sacred offering to you, love for you to understand and love those parts about yourself that you've been told you're not allowed to own.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
Leo. I'm an angry. I'm so, I'm a Leo. I have sacred rage like you wouldn't believe. But I have
Yes,
learned, not all the time, learning in progress, I have learned to channel my anger for devotion and, to see the world the way I want to see it rather than sit in anger and let it destroy me.
exactly. I call it constructive anger, you know, and mad and sad's not bad. It's simply genuine feelings. And
Mm.
suppressing those feelings is one, unhealthy, and two, not even genuine. And you're quite right. As little girls, we're brainwashed into thinking that we have to be the good little girl. You can't express any kind of anger or any kind of sadness or any kind of, somehow we have to be these little angelic little girls. When the boys, it's quite the opposite. Like can roar on the footy field and they can roar in the boardroom, and somehow that makes them more of a leader. And yeah, love that so much. And
Yeah,
I think you have to honor all aspects of self. And yeah, beautiful. Love it. So good.
yeah.
So, my darling, how do you see the sacred feminine rising in women today? Because we've both felt that rising happening, haven't we?
Yeah, and isn't it delicious?
It's
Isn't
so
it just
delicious. Yeah,
amazing
yeah,
when women give themselves permission to enter a room and just allow themselves to be? when they listen to their bodies as, you know, their body's speaking to them. When they're no longer, you know, in the doing, they're in the present. I think that, I think it's a number of different things, but I do think women right now are being called to
Yes.
live vibrationally different on the world. And
Yes.
this is
Especially at the moment when the opposite's happening. Yeah.
yeah, and this is they can no longer tolerate
Yeah.
the misalignment, the
Yes.
you know, everything around. They can no longer, they're no longer tolerating to be put in the back seat, you know.
Yes.
And that's where you know, that dirty dancing, you know, no one puts babe, and no, you know, when Patrick's well
Yeah.
grew up
No
in
one puts babe in the corner. Yeah.
no one puts babe in the corner. I think women are coming
Yeah.
out of the corners, and I think
Absolutely.
that is so good. I think
It's
we're
so good for the balance.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so good for the pendulum swing, you know. It's like recalibrating, you know, as, you know, the masculine, and I'm, you know, not the divine awakened masculine. I'm talking the crazy, crappy masculine that, you know,
yeah,
wants
toxic.
to rule the world through ego. Um, yeah, I think as they cling to the old paradigm, you know, this is an opportunity for women to rise in their feminine power, you know, like in to recalibrate that beautiful balance. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the sacred feminine energy isn't loud. It's steady, it's
Yes.
ancient, and it's really it's, you know, really starting to gather momentum now.
Yeah.
Yeah, women are wanting to hold reverence and leadership and lead in different spaces that they've ever led before. And I think that's through their intuition is sharpening, they're listening to their bodies more, they're realizing that in order, you know, they're realizing that in order for change, they actually want to be part of it and actually want to, they're no longer allowing the men to lead the boardroom. They're no longer allowing the men to
Yeah.
lead the governments. They're no longer, you know, they're asking deeper questions. They're activating their voice. So I think it's not just
Yes.
one way. I think it's a multiple way,
Yeah, it
multiple
is
ways.
in lots of different arenas. Yeah.
Mm,
Exactly.
yeah.
Do you
Isn't
know
it
what I love
brilliant?
about, yeah, do you know what I love about priestesshood is that it's not, you know, it's it aligns to your authenticity as well. So, you know, it's not somebody telling you who to be and what to do. It's you deciding for yourself, you know, what does spirituality actually mean to you? How do you want to show up in the world, you know? Being that beautiful leader of light and leader of the heart and leader of love, you know, as opposed to the opposite. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, we've both felt that, you know, that kind of rising happening, and we can see it within our own spiritual businesses as well, that, you know, people, women are lining up for it. So it's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So beautiful. So what are some of the biggest myths or misunderstandings about feminine leadership, do you think?
You can't use your intuition.
Yeah.
Um, I think feminine leadership is not soft. I think that in truth, feminine leadership is a fiery devotion.
Yes.
It is not emotional chaos,
Yes.
which is why women do not step into spaces of leadership. It doesn't lack structure. It's guided by soul, and I think that's
Yes.
it's guided by soul, not by ego, not by having power and speaking, being the loudest voice in the room. It is
Yes.
it is devotion. It is walking every day, um, leading your energy field from truth, embodiment, and knowing, like your intuitive self.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I think we've been programmed to believe that that is us being sensitive. I do not see it
Yes.
as us the us being
You're
sensitive
hysterical.
or
You know, when they
weakness.
say, why are you
Yeah,
being hysterical?
it's
Or why are you
spiritual
being
intelligence.
oversensitive?
Yeah,
Or you're reading too much into it? Or, yeah, I know. It's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's spiritual intelligence. I think it's
Yeah.
us. Soul comes from here, ego comes from here. You know, we're really,
Exactly.
when we're guided from soul, it's a whole different vibration. It is a whole different knowing. And I think
Yes.
that that's the thing. When we become devoted to our own soul journey, that is when we can change a room. That's when we can
Exactly.
change the audience. That's when we can hold the frequency and create that
Exactly.
ripple effect of light that you and I talk about all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that ripple effect, that osmosis, that modeling, that kind of like, you know, how you show up. You may think it's not making a difference. I guarantee it is. I don't
Mm.
know, like they've done studies on it. Apparently, you know, just by showing up and being you, you create a ripple that, you know, you think you think you're connecting with 10 people, you're actually connecting with 1,000 people. And, you
Mm.
know, and at that point, we've stopped counting, right? So
Yeah.
I think, you know, to know that you do make a difference in the world just by the way you decide to show up. And, you know, when you connect into that higher streams of consciousness, that unity consciousness, that love consciousness, I think you see things very differently. There's so much, you know, separation and everybody looking after, you know, it's like every man for themselves type energy. Well, the divine feminine doesn't subscribe to that.
No. And there's more than enough. We have more than enough resources on the planet because
Exactly.
Mother Earth makes sure of it. It's just we're fed a narrative of scarcity, control, um, lack, and that's how we've been programmed since birth. Well, I say bullshit to all of that.
Yes.
I think that Mother Earth always changes her seasons. We're evolving just like her. And so I think that, you know, it's like I invite people, we've become a world, you know, Spirit said to me a wee while ago, you know, we've become a world of consumerisms, consumers, consuming the news, consuming the food,
Yes.
but we're no longer a world of creators. We're consuming our destiny. What happens if we want to actually create our reality?
Love
All
that.
this, our
So
energy
important.
is the algorithm. Our body, our
Yes.
temple is the algorithm. Be conscious about what you're feeding it.
Yes. Can you imagine a world without music, a world without books, a world
Mm.
without art? And I'm talking unique, original, you know, and, you know, I think, you know, it would be a pretty vanilla
Dull.
world, wouldn't it? It would be, yeah, it wouldn't be great, right? So, so important. I want to talk a little bit about intuition and embodiment
Mm.
together now. How can women strengthen their intuition in a world that often pulls them out of themselves? And I know you and I have touched on this in the past, but I think it's really important to revisit that. Yeah?
Yeah. First, I would say slow down.
Yeah.
Listen to your body, get into your heart, listen to your physical body more than your mind.
Yes.
Unplug. Just unplug from noise. Unplug from your cell phone, unplug from the noise, and plug into your body being truth. You might not
Yes.
like what you hear initially, um, but our body is the temple and it knows its way home. It knows what it needs. Your intuition doesn't get louder. It's it's when the world around you gets quieter.
That's right.
You know, it's like I say to a lot of clients of mine, create moments of stillness. One breath, one ritual, one moment of being present in the day, all of that will recalibrate you into a different timeline. I set alarms on my phone where I have 5 minutes, which is just me get outside and just shift my energy and just
Yeah.
breathe. So I think that it doesn't have to be a big thing like go on a massive retreat and, you know, spend $10,000 weekend away on a cliff. You know, I think it's just about creating your life with intention.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that you said, you know, it's about, you know, my interpretation of that is, you know, not buying into the chaos, the noise, the repetitive narrative. If you watch the 6 o'clock news and you're
Oh,
not even aware that it's repeating, it's on repeat, then you're not in, you're very much in 3D, right? So I think, yes, just focusing on your own light, on your own beautiful energy and not getting too caught up in the crazy, right? So I
yeah.
think that really does help it really does help strengthen intuition because, and as you said, getting out of your head and into your heart and into the wisdom of your own body temple, I think is so important as well. So yeah,
And I don't even think,
self-awareness is amazing, right? Yeah,
yeah, and I don't even think people realize that we're so conditioned to be in our head that I don't
yeah,
even think people even realize that their heart's actually down here. Because
yeah,
their heart, most people, our heart is where we experience our feelings from: pain, hurt, love, joy. Um, that's where we are actually, that's where our soul lives.
yeah.
Let's just
I think
focus with
too. Yeah, and the brain's a very powerful
it.
thing, but in saying that, we often tell ourselves lies, we often get caught up in negative self-talk, we often get stuck in a loop, like
Yeah,
some kind of narrative or stuck in a story that keeps us small or makes us feel less. Or I think and the brain is incredibly wonderful, but I think if you're in that kind of autopilot monkey brain and you're caught on a loop, it's just so, it just destroys your nervous system. I think it's so important to drop from your head, that kind of repetitive head, to the wisdom of the heart and the wisdom of the body, because the body can't lie, but the brain can. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's where, initially you might not like what your body's telling you,
Yeah.
but I have moments like that, but it's telling you it for a reason.
Exactly. What role does embodiment play in feminine awakening? Now, I know embodiment gets thrown around so much,
Oh,
personification, embodiment work, archetype work. To me, it's super powerful. But yeah, can you kind of explain that in your own words? Because you have a way with words, my love. So how does embodiment play in this feminine awakening, right?
I just wrote something about this in my own podcast. So it's quite funny that you're asking me this question, because I just went, embodiment is the new word. And it's all well and good saying it, but what does it actually mean? Um,
Yes.
Without embodiment, spirituality becomes an escape. Because we
Yes.
can be doing the
A
work, but are we
bypass. Yeah,
embodying the work? Are we
that's right.
believing the work? Are we
Are we believing
trusting the
it?
work?
Are we living it? Are we being
Yeah.
it?
Are we
Yeah.
living it, breathing it? When we come back to our body,
Yes.
that's when the divine, our soul, our knowing, our intuition, whatever sits in your realm,
Yeah.
um, has a place to land. But we
Oh,
live
that's
in,
good.
yeah, that's kind of how I'd explain it. Embodiment is how intuition becomes our action, faith in action. It's how it becomes truth, how truth becomes leadership, how remembrance becomes our reality. Embodiment is when we can actually start to see things change in form. But I think like we have this idea that, oh, I've done the work, I'm embodied. I've got a certificate, I'm embodied. It's like me. It's only now that I'm owning the priestess, the word
Yeah.
priestess.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
actually feel
embodying it.
embodied, that I can
You're
own
living it,
that space and show up in
owning
that
it.
way.
Yeah.
So I think, it's when you really trust and you land and come home to your own divinity.
Yes. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, that's all that Spirit wants me to say. Spirit's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you nailed
That's
that.
to me, that's like, yeah, I can't even comment on that because that was, yeah, that, yeah. How do you personally stay connected to your inner temple? Because, I know you're a busy mum and you've got, all this amazing stuff you do. And, I'm the same way, that juggling, it's really interesting because at this age I thought I'd be slowing down, but the opposite seems to be happening. How do you stay connected to your inner temple, my darling?
If I'm true, I know when I'm wobbly. Oh, gee, do I know when I'm wobbly? Um, can be simply a return to breath.
Yeah. That's
For
so
me,
important, don't you
yeah,
think?
yeah, for me, it's a return to breath. I speak with spirit myself in my own quiet moments. I don't
Yeah.
always talk nicely to them. I give them a tune up. Um, going for a walk, taking Buddy for a walk. I listen. Oh, you know what? Actually, if I'm really honest, I listen to my body before I listen to the world.
Yes. Good answer.
Yeah. And I think that's
Fabulous.
important. I think that's really important. I actually have moments where I wake up and before the to-do list starts rolling
Yeah.
and the phone starts beeping and wonder what's happening in the world, wonder if
Yes.
there's been like, is the world still together today? I listen to how I feel. How do I feel in my body?
That's
And
right.
that's about me honoring the temple within me,
Yes.
the place where she wants to speak.
Yes.
Sometimes she has to soften, but she's always truthful. Like I like that's the one thing. I
It's a
don't
really
always
good thing. I
like,
think she is truthful,
I don't
you
always
know?
like what I hear. Like I
Yeah. I
don't
find it
always
really
like
hard to
what
tell a
I
lie.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yourself,
Live a lie.
she
Yeah.
can't lie to you. She
That's
can't lie
right.
to you. Your body can't
She's
lie
your
to
truth.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fierce, soft, intuitive, grounded,
Yeah.
yeah, all the feels, right? So I love that so much. I
Hmm.
want to talk about your program now, and also want to talk about the incredibly amazing book and oracle card deck that
Yeah.
really underpins and supports and amplifies the Temple of She. So I know we've touched on this, but I want to kind of deepen, our beautiful, chat today. So what inspired you to create this program, and what transformation does it offer? And feel free to rattle off some of the, beautiful kind of modules and titles and things, if you feel guided to do that. Yeah.
Mm. If I'm really honest, I
Yeah.
created it because I felt women needed a place and space in this world.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Um, Held both by their humanity, by their human experience and their divinity. And I think there's a lot of places that say they do that, but I don't think there's places that even as I say that I'm being teary. This is
Yeah.
my soul work. This is the work that I've been avoiding, but it's my knowing. I remember one day as a little kid eating a chocolate bar, leaving the supermarket, eating a chocolate bar, and I remember Spirit saying to me, "Your body is a temple." It's only now at 47 that I actually get that, you know? And so I do think it's a space that's not a theory,
Yes.
but a lived experience. And I'm
Yes.
living the experience.
Yes. And
Where,
it's not a perfection experience. I think
yeah,
some people think it's oh my goodness, if I'm a priestess, then I'm perfect and I live this perfect holy life. And, you know, but actually I think it's more about authenticity, and it's more
yeah,
about conscious living,
yeah.
and what are we, what are we putting out in the world? And yeah, I love that you said that you want to give she a voice as well. I think that's so important. Yeah, really love that.
And it's a
Beautiful.
place where you are visible to yourself. And I don't
Yeah.
think there's many spaces that women are visible to themselves or give themselves that time. Um, it's where we learn to hold our power without collapsing it. If
Yes.
that's
Love that.
important. And it's where our voice,
Sabotaging it,
yeah,
or shrinking it somehow, or yeah.
Yeah, and it's where our voice becomes truth in motion. I know that it's us rebirthing. And what a divine space for women to rebirth into the woman that they want to be, not the woman they've told not the
Yeah,
woman that they've told they have to be.
exactly. And I think it's just, you know, from a transformational perspective, I think when you allow and give yourself that time, it's incredibly amazing. You feel more grounded, you feel happier, you feel more, you're enriching your own life, you're not, it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful way to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
share a moment or story, Lily, from the temple that still moves you? And that can be in the creation of it.
Reading what I wrote.
Yeah,
Reading what I wrote, like in 2020. How,
yeah,
reading that for me during that time where I felt my voice, my voice was scared. I was in
yeah,
fear.
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of light around me or a
Yes,
lot of light in the world.
yeah,
Reading that made me realize how much I have shifted, how much
yeah,
the room around me has changed.
yes.
Um,
Because it's a collective experience. Ascension's a collective experience. It's not
yeah,
like we get to rise and everyone else doesn't, like all
yeah.
that silly stuff. Yeah,
And it really made me remember, I think it was like a remembering, um, that when you give space to your lived experience, you activate another person's heart in the room. And that's literally what this book is. This is literally
powerful.
what this teaching is, this book, this oracle deck. It's not
Yeah,
about me trying to fix you. I think that's
yeah.
really important. It's not about
No
me trying to
judgment, no
fix you.
fixing,
Yeah,
no,
it's about me giving space to honor you, to honor your
yes,
voice, to honor she, to
yes.
um and my oracle deck isn't a normal oracle deck, it's an activation deck. And that took me a wee while to get my head around that because I
Oh, I
don't
love that
know.
clear intention, though. That
Yeah,
very
I don't.
deliberate focus. Of course, it
Yeah,
makes it more powerful. And even owning that too. Like sometimes we get so distracted with, oh, it should be that, should be that. So and so's got that. That's really good. Like I think to own that is incredibly authentic and
mhm,
and so inspiring for others, actually. Yeah.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's something that you can go to at any stage, either pick up the oracle deck and there's generally there's a sacred inquiry card, there's message on it, or open up the book and flick to a page and there's my story, a part of my story in it that also has woven initiations, rituals, things through it. So I think it's what you always tell me, layer your magic. So it's my magic layered.
Layering, it's so much more powerful because
Hmm.
it's congruent. You
Hmm.
do it so beautifully. You've always done it. But I think when you fully understand the magic behind
Hmm.
alignment and the magic behind layering the magic and being really congruent with the message and not getting distracted by the next shiny thing. The Temple of She book and Oracle deck feel like living, breathing initiations. What was your intention when birthing these creations into the world? Are you able to give us a scoop, a taster of your deck? Yeah.
What was I wanting to? Okay, this is interesting. Let me go into this. The book is my soul journey. It's a
Yes.
remembrance piece. Oh, my ears going. Someone needs to hear this. The death is a coded transformation. I think that's it. And it's like she does not rise in perfection. She rises in truth. and her rawness and her breath. And every moment she gets to choose herself again and again and again. And I think that's what I want women to remember. That,
Yes,
like,
it's not selfish to walk
yeah,
your authentic path. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, I'm going to pick a card. So I do have the deck.
Yeah, good.
These are my trial ones. So they're not actually the way it should look at the moment. There's just a
If these are the trial ones, they're absolutely
and you know what?
magnificent.
Hashtag, you can't make this shit up. Just saying. The card is Sisterhood Rising.
Look at the beautiful art.
Oh, good. The
And
card
they
is,
do feel like transmissions, Lily, because they're very dimensional and there's always movement and light and connection. Yeah.
yeah, so it's Sisterhood Rising. And the inquiry question is, what would real nourishing sisterhood look like for you now? And I think for women, we are, or even if someone listening to this needs to hear this, we're so used to being compared, hurt by other women, compared, comparison, jealous, everything like that, like rooted in our sister wound. And I think that's something that has been, many of us have carried since, being a teenager, that aren't even, even aware of it. It's something that the patriarchy consistently is showing us, that in order to be in a room, you have to be this, consistently, social media.
Yes.
But if you could build your team of sisters, what would they look like and how would they nourish you?
Yeah. Amazing.
And I think that's the question. A lot of us are in relationships with sisters that aren't actually serving us.
That's right.
That what would it look like for you to be in a relationship that's going to make you flourish?
Like a supportive, reciprocal, respectful, loving, honest, kind, without the fixing, without the judgment, without the real comparison and competition and gossip and all that very low vibrational kind of sister wounds, that we're healing and that we've hopefully healed, Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, within the Temple of She, there's 9 phases, because it takes 9 months to give birth to a baby. So it takes 9 months to give birth to you. The first one, we begin with clearing, which is about releasing our old identities.
Yes.
Then it's remembering, reopening your gifts.
Beautiful.
Shadow. Meeting
Stunning.
the part of you that need love. The embodiment, shifting into your true power, whatever your sovereign self, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
The voice, speaking your truth.
Yes.
Expansion, holding more than you've ever held before, but not by taking less.
Yes. Or not working hard. Yeah.
You're not working harder. Worthiness, rewriting what you believe is possible. Our worthy code. Leadership, claiming your medicine. Oh, baby, I can't wait to see what people
love that.
And then the birthing.
It's a good sequence.
Becoming the woman that you actually came here to be.
There you go. Now, if that doesn't light your fire, I don't know what will. Incredibly powerful and sacred and really beautiful, but also relevant, helpful, grounded,
Yeah.
I think when people think they do spiritual work, it's like you do it for an hour a week and all of a sudden, life's going to be wonderful. No, it's not like that. It's an initiation. It's a progressive journey. And yeah, I just found those not steps, but those kind of beautiful different layers of your program just so in sync. And, it leads you to where you need to be, right?
Yeah, the consciousness of the divine.
Yeah. So, like sometimes we get people that are very new to their spiritual journey. Sometimes we get people that are really looking to deepen their spiritual journey. And it's not like you ever really arrive, like to me, it's a lifelong journey, which
Yeah.
I'm committed to, and I know you are too, Lily. So what
Yeah.
does the journey look like for someone entering this work for the first time? Like, you know,
Oh, you know what? I want to say it might be a little bit messy
yeah,
to start with because we never like change.
no,
We never like change.
yeah,
And so I really want to say that. I really want to say, um, but at the same time, you will be held in the most sacred space.
yes, I
And
know that. Yeah,
when a woman remembers her worth,
yeah,
her boundaries become quite natural.
yes,
And then from that space, that's when we actually find space for our own self devotion and give ourselves
yes,
permission to honor ourselves deeper. So,
yes,
for those that have never done spiritual or anything like this before, you know, you're going to show up scared. You're going to show up like a little bit fearful, but you're going to be seen. You're going to be seen in your truth. And
yeah,
all women want to be seen.
yeah, seen, heard, witnessed, held,
Supported,
and
honored.
supported, and I call it that beautiful mess, that magnificent unraveling, the peeling away of layers that you've clung to over the years that, perhaps no longer serve your happiness and your life. And, sometimes you need to, as you said, crack open, um, you know, allow the crumbling so that the rebuild can happen,
Yeah.
and it's magnificent because, some of the stuff we carry, does need to be dissolved because it's heavy and
Yeah.
it's hard and it's not even who we truly are, right?
And I think we carry stuff as women that we don't even know we carry.
Yeah. You don't know
And
it until you let it go.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't know I did. I
Why do
didn't
I
know
feel
that I was
lighter?
carrying that.
Why do I
Yeah.
feel lighter? Why do I feel happier? Why do I feel more at peace in myself? Exactly. I think some of the best work, and I've had this realization lately, is some of the best work happens in a subliminal, in the unconscious. Because, in the conscious brain, we know all the right things to say. We've programmed that part of the brain.
Yeah.
But the really good stuff happens down in the unconscious. Some
Yeah.
call it the shadow, right? And yeah, and a lot of the work that we both do, yeah, it kind of happens a lot at that kind of unconscious or conscious level that's so powerful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think when we give ourselves space to be empowered, that is when and embody our true empowerment power, that is when we're undeniable. We can't lie to ourselves anymore. We can't just show up in rooms and just go, oh look, I'll just go have a coffee, she'll be right, I'll just suck it up for an hour. Like the world starts to get a little bit, because we're refining our energy field, we're refining
yeah,
where we want to be and how we want to show up. And that's when like the edges of the world start to get a little bit squeaky around us. Like it's like, oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the
What you
thing. We can't
tolerated,
keep
that
lying to ourselves.
that's right. What you tolerated, what you kind of, I don't know, like not what you put up with, but kind of, like, so this kind of leads in really well to this question. How do you guide women to reclaim their voice and boundaries with grace, my love? Yeah.
Oh, by teaching themselves not to apologize.
Yeah.
Boundaries aren't walls. and this was something I had to learn. Boundaries aren't
Yes,
walls, they're
that's right.
sacred agreements.
Oh,
And when a
powerful.
woman remembers her worth, and don't think I've got this mastered because I'm still learning and
We're
progress.
all a work in progress, trust me. Yeah.
When women remember their worth, her boundaries become natural. Not
Yes.
through feeling like you've got to force a boundary,
Yes.
but boundaries are what I see, not something that someone's got to try and get through.
Yeah.
It's actually you having self-devotion for what you need.
Yes. Love that so much. I
And I
think,
think that
I
the
had this
sacred,
realized,
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
think
the
that's
sacred
it.
contracts and agreements.
Oh, that's so powerful, by the way. That was such a great answer. Um, I had this realization recently too that we've done a lot of work and talk on establishing a healthy boundary. And you're quite right, a boundary is not a wall. It's quite the opposite. It's creating a sacred container for your life so that you can give openly and freely within it, right? So but in saying that too, it's not just about establishing your own boundary, it's about respecting others.
Yes, yes.
And I don't think there's enough talk about that. We
No,
can't all walk around establishing boundaries if we're not respecting other people's boundaries.
yeah. And I think,
Controversial, I know.
the thing is, when you start to put boundaries in place and they feel like invisible walls, that's kind of how I'd explain it.
Yes,
It's not you're building like a tower around you. It's
yes,
actually you're defining your energy field on what you're available for.
yeah, clever. Yeah,
Mm. And there's
really
certain
clever.
things that I used to be totally available for stuff. Now I'm
Yes,
just
I can do
like,
that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I
yeah,
can do that.
I'm just,
Especially if you're a natural giver, if that's your love language, you love to give and give more, and you're a generous spirit and you just want to keep giving more and more and more. And then one day you go, oh my God, I'm exhausted, I'm depleted, I feel used, you start to get resentful because you're only human, and then things start to, what you thought you loved doesn't feel very loving anymore. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that's when you have to redefine everything again and come back to basics and remember what is my worth and what am I available for.
Yes, exactly. I think if you want to be respected, you have to have self-respect.
Yes.
You know, Beautiful. Love that. So, what message does she want our listeners to receive today?
Oh, next spirit. Oh, I've got goosebumps.
Yeah.
You are not becoming. Oh, someone needs to hear this. My ears going red. You're not becoming.
Yep.
You are remembering
Yep.
that the power, the sovereign self that you seek, she's already inside of you, and she's waiting for you to give her permission to come forward. She's waiting for
Wow.
you to say yes. Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I love that so much. And it's so important to know that she's inside all of us. It's not just for a select few that call themselves psychics or,
no.
she's a collective she, and
Mm,
she is inside all of us. Yeah. Love that so much. So,
mm.
where can people find you, your Temple of She program and your beautiful work? When does your gorgeous book come out? And when can we get our hot little hands on your absolutely stunning Temple of She Oracle card deck, which are more like initiations and activations? They're so beautiful.
Mm. Okay. So the Temple of She first kicks off on the 19th of May. So that's when we start to actually walk through the temple door and walk with the 9 phases. Um, the 8th of the 8th, Lion's Gate, 2 days after my
Yes,
birthday,
yes,
is when the book and the Oracle deck activation deck will be launched. It's
yes.
my magic layers.
Yay.
And then Yeah, but I'm going to start advertising that all on Facebook and online. And if you want to reach out to me, do so, Lily at priestesslilly.com, or go on my webpage, Priestess Lilly. Yeah, so that's when it's all been birthed. And spirit has been very defined on the 8th of the 8th. So
Yes.
I'm
Love the
like,
Lionsgate. What a
yeah,
beautiful portal threshold.
it's a
Perfect divine
manifesting
timing. Yeah.
circle. It's going to be potent. And I'm calling in I'm calling in the most beautiful she's that are ready to be transformed.
Yeah, they really are beautiful.
Mm.
They really are. Yeah. Love
So
that so
yeah,
much. Yeah. Happy to, so happy, so happy, so excited. Congratulations. That's absolutely amazing.
and you know what? I've said it
It's
now.
exquisite,
Suzy
actually.
Cherub. I
Pardon?
now I've actually it's the first time I've actually said the date publicly,
Yes.
and then I've just gone.
How
Well,
lucky are
what
we
happens
to
if
hear
it's
that?
not ready? And what happens if it's not? And it's going to be. But that's that fear. That's me going
Yeah,
straight to my head, and when I'm not embodying, you know. So we all have those.
exactly. When you can identify it's a man-made fear. It's not like an actual real insight. Or yeah, love that so much. Well, I just have to say, my love, you are amazing. Supporting you through the seasons of your journey has brought me so much friendship and joy, and you've inspired me. You're a testament to what happens when a woman says yes to her soul. So, so super excited for everything that you're doing. And it's worth mentioning too that there's a large Australian audience that listen to this podcast, and the time zones between New Zealand and Australia actually work out quite beautifully. So you don't need to worry about that either. Although this is a global podcast, I thought that was worth mentioning. Um, I'd love to pull an oracle card for you, my love, from
Oh,
my new deck, the Enchanted Garden Oracle, if you're up for
yes,
it.
totally. Do you know what? I was feeling its energy today. I felt your dick's energy today when I was having a shower.
Did
Yeah, it was
you?
quite interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm,
Love that.
mm.
Yeah. So the card that I pulled for you is so beautiful and so appropriate to you and what you're bringing through in the most magnificent way. And it's the Bells card. It's actually the alignment card. Um, and, everything you're doing is in such beautiful alignment with she. And it rings true. Integrity is your anchor and compass. Bells awakens the song of sincerity within your soul, calling you to live each moment in alignment with your values. Truth isn't just something you speak, it's something you actually embody. Bells reminds you that when your outer life reflects your inner knowing, peace and power align. Your decisions become clear, your connections deepen, and your presence builds trust. That includes self trust. Like bluebells chiming through enchanted gardens, truth speaks quietly but unmistakably. You're invited to reflect on what truly matters. Honor the wisdom and the whispers of your heart. Untangle stories that no longer fit and root into your most authentic self. Living with integrity doesn't mean perfection, it means presence, priestess presence. Honesty and courageous alignment does take courage. When you stand in truth, you become a bell tower. Your path clears, your energy sings, your soul echoes, and you embody truth with every chime. And the affirmation is, I live truthfully. So that's for you, but it's also for the temple as well. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Suzy. That is so potent. Thank you. And thank you for making the time to have me on your podcast, hold space for me. I know like this has been a journey for me, and I probably wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for you.
I'm
So
sure you would
thank you
have,
for
but I
that.
appreciate the the kind words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that means so much. Thank you. Um, yay. Okay. So thank you for joining us in this sacred space. in Lily's beautiful temple of She. A deep bow to Priestess Lilly, my dear friend and sister, for sharing her inborn wisdom, her devotion, and the living transmission of the temple of She. If this conversation stirred something within you, follow the threads, explore Lily's offerings, and connect with her book, her oracle deck, her coaching. And of course, thank you so much for being along this journey of Ask the Oracle podcast. May you walk forward with softness, sovereignty, and the remembrance that She lives within you. With love, Suzy and Lilly. Yay.